Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Gursant Singh. You can see me here in the brown coat on the right. And I was a follower of Yogi Bhajan for about 30 years. Now today in this video, I want to follow up a little bit about how I believe Yogi Bhajan wanted to eliminate Sant Jarnail Singh, and how he worked together with former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who was shown here receiving a gift from Yogi Bhajan. This was prior to 1984, when Indira Gandhi decided to attack the Sikhs' holiest shrine there in Amritsar, the Harimandir Sahib, or commonly known as the Golden Temple. Now, it's a well-known fact that Yogi Bhajan taught Indira Gandhi yoga. He also taught Nehru yoga. They would visit Yogi Bhajan's yoga center in Delhi and receive lessons from them. He also took many students to see Indira Gandhi. Now, I don't have those pictures. This is the only picture that I am able and legally able to use with Yogi Bhajan and Indira Gandhi. SikhNet, who follows Yogi Bhajan, has restricted the use of those photos. You should ask SikhNet why they don't want those photos published of Yogi Bhajan and Indira Gandhi. It shows many of the yoga students with Indira Gandhi and some other pictures with Yogi Bhajan and Indira Gandhi. Now here is the first picture I'd like to show you with Yogi Bhajan and Sant Jarnail Singh. Now the 3HO people say in the Wikipedia article, which is basically written by a Yogi Bhajan biographer, Guru Fateh Singh, they say that Yogi Bhajan was mediating this situation with Indira Gandhi and Sant Jarnail Singh. But I believe otherwise. I think that Yogi Bhajan had a hidden agenda. From my time that I spent with him, the 30 years, I got to know him pretty well. Now you can see here in this photograph how cunning and how aggressive Yogi Bhajan is. You can see the body language here. Yogi Bhajan is touching Sant Jarnail Singh on the arm, while Sant Jarnail Singh has his hands and his arms folded under the shawl that he's wearing there. And so Sant Jarnail Singh is really, from what I can see here, very skeptical about Yogi Bhajan. And Yogi Bhajan, of course, in his psychopathic, charismatic way, is trying to cajole and persuade Sant Jarnail Singh of certain things. Now, I believe that since Yogi Bhajan was not able to get what he wanted from Sant Jarnail Singh, which was some appeasement towards what Yogi Bhajan was teaching, these tantric yogas and these un-Sikh-like Shiv Shakti worships, that I think Yogi Bhajan basically wanted to eliminate him. And so I think he either colluded with Indira Gandhi, or he certainly didn't stop Indira Gandhi from attacking the Golden Temple and with the full force of the Indian Army, and then slaughtering these great Sikh warriors who stood there strong at the Golden Temple and were eventually murdered by the Indian Army. Now, I have written a book and published it in the last few months. It's called Confessions of an American Sikh, where I talk about my direct personal experience with both Yogi Bhajan and Sant Jarnail Singh. I was fortunate enough and blessed by the Guru to meet Sant Jarnail Singh in 1982, in October of 1982, when I was there. We were staying at the Guru Nanak Nivas, and Sant Jarnail Singh spent a lot of time on the roof there of Guru Nanak Nivas and Guru Ramdas Nivas, talking to people. He was accepting people there and talking with them. Now you can see here a group of the Gursikhs there with Sant Jarnail Singh at the Darbar Sahib. Now this is a photo that I was able to find with Sant Jarnail Singh on the top of Guru Nanak Nivas there. And so this shows exclusively how he, like I said, spent a lot of time there. Now, I'll read you a portion of my book which talks a little bit about my experience and some of the experience of people that I was with there. This Baba Nam Singh, I spent time with him there, and he was living there at the Guru Nanak Nivas at the time. I said here in the book, Confession of an American Sikh, Baba Nam Singh was not a political animal. He simply loved hanging out with Bhindranwale's men and befriended many of them. He would go with them to the Hari Mandir Sahib every night, just after midnight, to do the seva of cleaning the floors. From there, they would go to the Akal Takht for more seva. The Indian media portray them as goons and terrorists. Baba Nam Singh said that he found them to be intelligent and devout men who were there because they believed in their cause. So this shows you a little bit about how my experience was that Sant Jarnail Singh's men were very devout, and unlike how many of the Indian media portray them, they were very good Gursikhs. Now here is a statement by a Pritpal Singh that I found on Facebook that talks a little bit about the experience. It's a narrated experience with Sant Jarnail Singh. He says here, Yogi Bhajan Singh was close friends with Indira Gandhi. They had the same yoga teacher. He went and met Indira and said that he could easily kill Santji if she wished, who was then at Siddhi Akal Takht Sahib. A few days later, Yogi came to Sri Darbar Sahib, and Santji called him up to meet him. Santji started describing the room that Yogi had met Indira in, and said there was a guy mouthing off, saying he killed Sant Ji. Santji then said directly to Yogi, the Sant is before you. If you want to kill him, go and have a pop. Yogi got flustered and started sweating. And Santji laughed and said to the Singhs, look, it's cold weather, and Yogi Ji has started sweating. Run, go and fetch him water. So these are some of the descriptions some Sikhs, many Sikhs have, of seeing how Yogi Bhajan was really found out by Sant Jarnail Singh. And Sant Jarnail Singh really, I think, knew what was going on with Yogi Bhajan. Now here in this photo, you can see Yogi Bhajan's close relationship with another Indira Gandhi henchman, I guess we'll say, this Zail Singh, who was the president of India at the time. He was just basically a lackey of Indira Gandhi. And you can see Yogi Bhajan with his bejeweled robes, which is really an un-Sikh-like characteristic. You won't see any Sikhs or Sikhs wearing these kind of bejeweled robes. He's wearing no kirpan. And then you can see up here in the left-hand corner one of Yogi Bhajan's old ex-secretaries. Now this is an interesting fact, that this Sopur Kar, one of these secretaries here, was privy to a lot of these secret meetings with Yogi Bhajan, Zail Singh, Indira Gandhi. And she has recently left the 3HO group, and she's no longer a Sikh either. She was paid over $1 million, and this is all part of legal documents that are recorded in the state of Oregon under this lawsuit that was filed in order for the 3HO people to get this Yogi Tea Company secured. So she was paid over $1 million, and she signed on to what's called a non-disclosure agreement, where she cannot speak or disclose anything about her experiences with Yogi Bhajan. So we'll probably never know what happened from her. And there were several other people that actually did sign on to this agreement also. It's an interesting fact that SikhNet also signed on to this agreement, so they can't criticize or say anything against Yogi Bhajan. I, however, did not sign any such agreement. And I'm here to tell you that Yogi Bhajan, again, had a secret agenda. And what was this secret agenda that Yogi Bhajan had? Well, I believe it was to promote these un-Sikh-like activities. They used Gurbani, they used Sikh religious symbols. Here you can see these Waheguru Chus for commercial profit. They use them for commercial profit. Pictures of the Darbar Sahib there. All of this, images of the Sikh Gurus, all this to create this empire, this billion-dollar empire of wealth based on these symbols of the Sikh Gurus and the Sikh symbols of faith. You see the Darbar Sahib there in that Yogi teacup. Now SikhNet, you can see here, is under the control of all of these Yogi Bhajan organizations. And again, like I said, they've signed on to this agreement as part of the settlement agreement with these people who had control over the Yogi tea, that they cannot say anything against Yogi Bhajan is all signed by the judge. So they cannot criticize Yogi Bhajan or say anything against him. It's called non-disparagement agreement. You can see it here. And also, what's very important for Sikhs is that SikhNet and these other Sikh Dharma, as they call themselves, organizations of Yogi Bhajan, must support and advance the practice of the Sikh religion as taught by Yogi Bhajan. Doesn't say anything about the Sikher het, doesn't say anything about Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. They're only beholden to Yogi Bhajan's teachings. That's, I think, is very revealing and important. Now you can see here how these Yogi Bhajan people keep photos and images of Yogi Bhajan in the Darbar of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib, which is really unheard of for Sikhs to do things like this. They put the Sikh Gurus as garlands around this Christian Virgin Mary here, and you can see they put Hindu gods around in their Darbar of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. This is in the Sikh, there's a Gurdwara there that SikhNet is right next to. Their offices are right there. These are really ugly, phallic images, for lack of a better word, that Yogi Bhajan drew. He gave them to me in 1988, and he wanted me to sell them as part of his tantric sex energizing scheme. I didn't do it. I still have these paintings. But you can see they're a lot like these Shiv Lingams. Now you can see here how they worship Yogi Bhajan. They put him up there on a pedestal. He looms over the Darbar of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. Every day when the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib is brought for Prakash and Sukhasan, this image of Yogi Bhajan looms over the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib in the Darbar of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. Yogi Bhajan worshippers continue to prostrate at his grave, and you can see this is where he died. Now, this was, I think, Yogi Bhajan's real agenda, was to set himself up as a guru, get rid of Sant Jarnail Singh, and to set himself up only as the only Sikh guru. And that was, I think, Yogi Bhajan's real agenda. So then after he got Sant Jarnail Singh out of the way, he could continue to propagate these, his version of the Sikh religion, which is completely against what the Sikh Gurus taught, and against what Sant Jarnail Singh was trying to teach too. You can see Yogi Bhajan adorning himself with these robes. This was an ugly portrait that Yogi Bhajan had us meditate on. So I hope you write the governing body there in Amritsar with this message. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.